Shabbat המלכה, הנה יורדת הקדושה הברוכה, ונימה המלאכים צבא שלום ומנוחה. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הכלה, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השלום. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הכלה, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, שלום עליכם, מלאכי השלום.
Shabbat Shalom. Good evening. Welcome, everyone. So, at the beginning of this week, Melanie and I went to Cape Town for a few days. And on the first day, on Sunday, we did some tour of the Cape of Good Hope and the peninsula. And I was sitting on the passenger seats. And I had the sun to my left. And as we got there, the sun was so strong that half of my neck was pepper red, while the other half was completely white. So something happens here as well. I don't know if it is the sun, if it is the sound, what it is, but everyone is on this corner of the sanctuary, and this one, thank you so much for not leaving this part of the sanctuary completely empty. But, you know, we need to find out what it is about here, my left, your right, that makes everyone, yeah, Adam also. So we'll start with the service. I want to invite Brad with Francis to come and light the candles. The candle lighting is on page 118. Here. So first light the candle. I'm trying to break the gender stereotypes and invite men to light the candles. But apparently it's a stronger, gut feeling than I originally imagined. Sorry? It's kind of ironic because we'll talk about fire later today.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Yasher koach. Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 130. Trying to let the spirit of Shabbat, of Irashel Shabbat, to enter into our doors and bring us some comforts after a few days that were very difficult. So on page 130 at the bottom of the page, come, let us sing joyously to God. Raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song. For Adonai is a great God, the great ruler of all divine beings. Let's read all of us together on page 131. In God's hand are the depths of the earth, the peaks of the mountains are God's. God is the sea, God made it, and the land which God's hands fashioned. Come, let us bow down and kneel, bend the knee before God our Maker. For Adonai is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Oh, if you would, but heed God's charge this day. So for this week, I did not receive anyone volunteering a poem to read with Psalm 96, so I brought my own. Shir Adonai, Shir Chadash, sing a new song to God. This poem that I'm going to read, I received in a WhatsApp group. It was in Spanish, and as I tried to identify who the writer was, I got to an Instagram page called Madres Judías por la Paz, Jewish Mothers for Peace. And I'm not 100% sure that they were the ones who wrote it, but here it is in translation. When I have children, I will not tell them stories about Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, or Wonder Woman. I will tell them stories about Mama Shiri. Mama Shiri, who awoke to a morning of terror, from paradise to hell, from a dream to a nightmare. Mama Shiri, who faced alone, without anyone holding her hand, the army of the devil. Mama Shiri, who even armed terrorists could not make forget to take her child's dummy because she knew how much it was needed. Mama Shiri, who robbed her children in a blanket that tied them together, as if that blanket were the strongest armor in the world. Let no one dare come near her heart. Mama Shiri, who held Ariel in one hand and Kfir with the other, she bound herself to them with handcuffs of love and threw the keys into the sea. Mama Shiri, whose terrified face appears every time I close my eyes. Mama Shiri, who is also someone's daughter, whose two parents were murdered, whose dog was killed, whose husband was kidnapped. A mother who did not forget to be a mother in a situation where it would be easy. In a situation where it would be easy to forget even one's own name. Mama Shiri should be engraved in every home in Israel. Every child should know about her, and her photo should hang in every maternity ward. A mother whose umbilical cord not even hundreds of terrorists could cut. Mama Shiri, forgive us for leaving you there alone. An entire country holds your hands. An entire country weeps orange tears. We continue the service on page 136 with Psalm 29.
Adonai,
I went to rabbinical school in the Boston area, and in the winter, it was very, very cold there. But we had a tradition. We usually, on Friday nights, we were not together. We were in rabbinical school usually until Thursday evening. There were a few classes on Friday morning, but on Friday evenings, people had different pulpits. So we were not together, but once or twice a semester, people organized a Kabbalat Shabbat for the students to be together. And in these occasions, it was our tradition to welcome the Shabbat on Lechadodia, the part that we all stand, to go outside and to welcome the Shabbat, to really welcome the Shabbat brides entering into our sanctuary. And during the winter, when you dress like an onion, that's the expression, right, with several layers. And then when you go into a closed space, you remove most of the layers. You were very comfortable. We were not going to get everything on again, so we went out in the coats, wearing just what we were wearing indoors. And when we took that deep breath, the cold air, it was, you really had this feeling of breathing the spirit of Shabbat, really cold spirit of Shabbat. So we're not going to go outside, but I want to invite you at the very last stanza, as we stand, take a deep breath and let the spirit of Shabbat take hold of your body. So Lechadodi starts on page 138.
Lechadodi likrot kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lechadodi likrot kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor l'dibur echad ishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemul tiferet v'litila l'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lekuven elcha ki mekor habaracha berosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri ki vorech kom yori shidaberi kavod Adonai alayk nigla. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha ובצולה תוכי מוני המסיקולה. בואי חלה l'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela. L'chadodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela.
So now it's the time for this amazing tradition of Beit David of greeting each other and wishing Shabbat Shalom. So we'll walk around, meet each other, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Create, look.
Shabbos Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm always having great ideas.
I love it. Which we start second. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, על העשור ועל ענבל, על היגיון בחינות, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, על העשור ועל ענבל, על היגיון בחינות.
אכתני אדוני בפועליך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש בעד לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין את זאת. The righteous bloom like a date palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in Adonai's house, they flourish in our God's courts. In old age, they still produce fruits. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that God is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong. We turn to page 263. For the Chetzi Kaddish, please stand. Seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach sharim, ובתבונה משנה עתים ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיכם ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, כולל אור מפני חושך וחושך מפני אור. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. We turn to page 266 with Ahavat Olam. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth. In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch Ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. We turn to page 267 for the Shema Israel. Please stand.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
On page 268, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down, when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hands, and let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. We turn to page 66 as we continue with the second and third paragraphs of the Shema. At the bottom part of page 66, if you will indeed obey the commandments which I enjoin you on this day, loving and serving Adonai your God with all your heart and soul, then I will provide the rain your land needs, the early and the late rain in due season. Will gather in your grain, your wine and your oil. I will give grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. Take care not to be lured away to serve other gods and to worship them, for then Adonai will be roused to anger against you and shut up the heavens so that there is no rain and the ground does not yield its produce, and then you will quickly perish from the good land which Adonai is giving you. ושמתם את דברי אלה על לבבכם ועל נפשכם, וקשרתם אותם לאות על ידיכם, והיו לטוטפות בעיניכם. ולימדתם אותם את בניכם, לדבר בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוך בך ובקומך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניכם על האדמה אשר נשבע אדוני לאבותיכם לתת להם כימי השמיים על הארץ. Adonai said to Moshe, speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make for themselves fringes on the corners of their garments throughout the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all of God's commandments and observe them so that you do not follow your heart and eyes into in your lustful urge. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your gods. I am Adonai, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, Adonai Elohechem Emet. We now turn to page 270 with Mi Hamocha. Remember, you may sit. that Micha Mocha is the song of redemption. Micha Mocha is part of Shirat Hayam, which we read 2 weeks ago. It's the song that the Israelites were singing as they were living this state of oppression in the place of the narrow waters, Mayim Tzarim, and going to the ample space of Midbar. So page 270, Micha Mocha. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. I was talking to a couple yesterday, and we were talking about the nights and how the night might be a source of fear, but it might also be a source of creativity, right? The night is the time of darkness, and when we enter into a dark room, on the one hand, you're not seeing anything, right? So you might be afraid of not seeing. But as opposed to when the room is lit and you know everything that is in that room, when the room is dark, you can imagine, you can create, you can envision new things. So the night is indeed a time when our ancestors were afraid of. But let's face the night with courage and with creativity, and let us ask for protection from God for this next night. On page 271, Ashkiveino.
Shalom, השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
Give us a place to rest, O God. Shelter us in the long, soft evening shadows of your truth. You are true protection and safety. In your presence we find love and acceptance. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, apores sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Israel, ve'al Yerushalayim. On page 272, at the top of the page, in Hebrew, V'shamru v'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat letorotam, brit olam. Beini uven Israel ot hi leolam, ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et haaretz, uvayom ha-shvi'i, shavat v'nafash. We all stand for the Amidah, which begins on page 273.
Adonai sefatai tiftach u'hofia giteilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach u'hofia giteilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elokei avoteinu Elohei Moteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora. חסדים טובים וכל נהי הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני
לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיים, ממית ומחיים, ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיים, ממית ומחיים, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You set up page 277. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God had completed the work that had been done. And God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that had been done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, because on it God ceased from making all the work of creation. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu retzeh b'menuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'ten chelkenu b'toratecha, sabeinu mitovecha v'samcheinu b'shuatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Be gracious, page 279. Be gracious, Adonai our God, to your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. Oh, may our worship always be acceptable to you. Fill us with the knowledge that you were near to all who seek you in truth. ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, המחזיר שכינתו לציון. מודים אנחנו לך שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נמשותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת, ערב ובוקר וצהריים. הטוב כי לא חלול רחמך, המרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך מעולם ועד. For all these things, O Sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha, ulecha na'el leodot. Shalom rav al Israel amcha tasim leolam, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. We'll spend the next few minutes in silent meditation, each one in dialogue with your inner self or with the divine, whatever way you conceive it.
צור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר ממה ולבך ללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר ממה ולבך ללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר ממה ולבך ללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל לצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים ידבר ממה ולמחללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי לצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים ידבר ממה ולמחללי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והדיון ליבי לפניך אדוני
My God, page 283, my God, keep my tongue from evil and my lips from speaking guile. To those who revile me, let my soul be silent. My soul shall be to all as dust. Open my heart to your Torah. Let my soul hasten to do your commandments. Let the words of my mouth and my heart's meditation be acceptable in your presence, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimroma, vuyase shalom aleinu, vel kol Israel, vel kol yoshvei tevel, veimru, amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. And let us say, amen. Shabbat shalom. So for those who were here last Saturday morning, we read here the 10 utterances, the 10 affirmations, which people usually refer to as the 10 commandments, even though not all of them are commandments. So for those who were here, we even talked about ideas of what the so-called 11th commandment should be, and we got some great ideas from don't judge a book by its cover, to you shall never forget. So, on top of the 10 commandments that we got last week, this week's Parsha introduces 53 additional mitzvot, rules the Israelites are instructed to follow. Have you ever thought about rules, both religious and secular, that you live by? Some of them might seem obvious and universal, like the 6 of the 10 affirmations. Lo tirtzach, you shall not commit murder. But as we have sadly seen this week, not everyone abides by this rule. Other rules might be more idiosyncratic. Much to the despair of my children and Melanie, I never cross the street outside the pedestrian crossing or when the robot is not green. A famous singer in Brazil never mentions the word evil. He changed the lyrics of his past songs, never to mention the word evil. Some people will still eat food that fell on the floor if they pick it before 5 seconds, even though scientists say that even 1 second would have been too late, and we need to really throw it away anyway. Some of these rules express our deepest values. Others stem from superstitions or hopes, and some have simply become habits with no clear reason why. The mitzvot in this week's Parsha primarily address interpersonal relationships and personal responsibilities. As I was reading them, one instruction caught my attention. It deals with the impact and responsibilities of fire. It says, when a fire is started and spreads to thorns, so that stacked, standing, or growing grain is consumed, the one who started the fire must make restitution. Perhaps the recent fires in Los Angeles and in Brazil made this instruction stand out to me. But it became even more compelling when I found a Talmudic passage that expands on it. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani says in the name of Rabbi Yonatan, calamity befalls the world only when wicked people are in the world, but the calamity begins with the righteous first. As it's stated in the verse, if a fire breaks out and catches in thorns, so that a stack of grain or standing grain or the field is consumed. When does the fire emerge? At a time when the thorns, i.e. the wicked, are found with it. But calamity begins from the righteous first, as is stated in the continuation of the verse, and a stack of grain is consumed. It's not stated if a fire breaks out and catches in thorns and consumes the stack of grain. Rather, it states a stack of grain is consumed in the passive voice, meaning that the stack or the righteous has already been consumed before the thorns. The righteous, therefore, have a responsibility to prevent the fire or extinguish it before it has extinguish it once it has started. This reminds me of a wonderful midrash about Avraham Avinu. It comments on the biblical verse in which God instructs Avraham to leave his house and go to the land that God would show him. Lech lecha. Adonai said to Avram, "Go you forth from your land." Rabbi Yitzchak said, this may be compared to a man who was traveling from place to place when he saw a castle on fire. He said, is it possible that this palace lacks a person to look after it? The owner of the building looked out and said, I am the owner of the palace. Similarly, Abraham asked, is it possible that this world doesn't have a leader? The Holy Blessed One looked out and said to him, I am the master of the universe. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs offers his interpretation of this midrash. Abraham was struck by the contradiction between the order of the universe, the palace, and the disorder of humanity, the flames. How in a world created by a good God could there be so much evil? If someone takes the trouble to build a palace, do they leave it to the flames? If someone takes the trouble to create a universe, does God leave it to be disfigured by God's own creations? On this reading, what moved Abraham was not philosophical harmony, but moral discord. For Abraham, faith began in cognitive dissonance. There's only one way of resolving this dissonance, by protesting evil and fighting it. That is the poignant meaning of the Midrash when it says that the owner of the palace looked out and said, I am the owner of the palace. It is as if God were saying to Abraham, I need you to help me to put out the flames. We live in a world on fire. Sometimes, like Abraham, we despair at its disorder and ask ourselves, the universe and God, isn't there anyone taking care of this precious palace? The Talmud passage warns that calamity can spread when the righteous fall into chaos, allowing destructive forces to take hold. This past few days, we were reminded in the most painful way of what happens when the flames of hatred are allowed to spread unchecked. The Midrash, particularly Rabbi Sachs's interpretation, urges us to become God's partners in fighting the fire, spreading light where there was only darkness, resisting despair, and building a world rooted in love. Rabbi Menachem Creditor expanded on the words of Psalm 89:3, Olam Chesed Ibanem, a world of love will be built, and composed a song inspired by it, with the twist that it gives us agency in the building of this world. And the song goes like this. Olam Chesed Ibanem, la 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 la. Olam Chesed Ibanem, la da da la da la da da. Olam chesed yibanem, la da da la da la da da. Olam chesed yibanem, la da da la da da. I will build this world from love, la da da la da da. And you must build this world from love, la da da la da da. And if we build this world from love, la da da la da da, then God will build this world from love, la da da la da da. Pirkei Avot teaches that במקום שאין בו אנשים, תשתדל להיות איש. In a world where humanity is lacking, make an effort to be human. Shabbat Shalom. Please stand for Aleinu on page 587. Oh, I forgot to invite. So we invite Dr. Elgar Rogeli and Stephen Kaplan to open and close the ark. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו בגובים מרומים. הוא אלוהינו עינות אמת מלכינו אפס הולדתו. כה כתוב בתורתו וידעת היום וישבותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים השמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת.
Top of page 589, let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the minds, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all, created in your image, become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai imloch leolam va'ed. Page 590. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge unto you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, Adonai our God, let them pay homage. Let them give glory to your honored name. Let all accept the yoke of your reign, that you may rule over us soon and forever. For sovereignty is yours. Unto all eternity you will reign in glory, as it is written in your Torah. God will reign forever and ever. Thus it has been said that Adonai will become sovereign of all the earth. On that day, Adonai will become one, and God's name will be one. So before we close the ark, we're going to say a blessing for healing for all of those in need of healing. I will, with my arm, move around the sanctuary, and when my arm is in your direction and your eyes meet mine, if you feel comfortable doing so, say the name of the person in the name of healing in whom you were thinking, or if you feel more comfortable, just say it in silence in your hearts. I want to add Yarden Bibas to the list of those who are in need of physical or emotional healing. We turn to page, just 1 second, and I'll get to the, so this should be here. So page 371. משברח אבותינו ואמותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה, ויברך את כל החולים ששמם נקראו היום. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלימם, לרפאותם, להחזיקם, וישלח להם מהרה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, השתה בגלה ובזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those whose names were mentioned here today. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say Amen. And now we can close. You may be seated. I want to invite Fiona to help me and rescue me. The list of your sites. Before that, a reading by page page 593, poem number 2. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death, all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you.
We remember from Bet David, Jeff van Flyman, Honorary Life Treasurer of Bet David, father of Debbie and Ruth, and brother of Brian van Flyman. Julius Sutton, grandfather of Alan Goodman. Reginald Nathan Rubin, father of Gail Regali and grandfather of Lauren Kupritz. George Hennig, brother of Lali Gerber. Max Grisak, husband of Barbara Grisak. Alan Beale, brother of Robin Beale. Nellie Poe, mother of John Paul. Jack Mendel Regali, father of Dr. Elgar Regali and grandfather of Lauren Kupritz. Passed away recently, Peter Gunston, father of Greer Gunston. Robert Kappa, the life partner of Phyllis Seligman and brother of Jill Schneider. Ladies and gentlemen, the memorial service for the late Robert Kappa will take place at Bet David this Sunday, the 23rd of February, at 3:30 in the shul. All are welcome, and your presence would really be so appreciated. Marion Barrett, aunt of Diane Duwejko. We remember the 4 hostages whose bodies were released this week for burial in Israel. Now, the family requested that the names not be mentioned until they'd been positively identified. They have been positively identified, and I feel obliged to mention Ariel Bibas, 4 years old, Kfir Bibas, not quite 10 months old, strangled to death before the end of October 2023 by elements belonging to the Salafi Sunni jihadi sect called the Lords of the Desert. This was proved this week by Israeli forensic pathologists. We also remember those who lost their lives in wars and those who have no one to remember them.
So we add to the names of Ariel Vedkfir also the name of Oded Lifshitz, who was also among the 4 bodies returned. We still don't know the fate of Shir Bibas, the mother of the 2 boys. Please stand as we say together on page 598. Thanks, Fiona. The Mourner's Kaddish.
ועלמד יזרח תלותה וימליך מלכותה וחי יכול וביום יכול ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויראו אמן. יהי שמי רבך מברך לעולם ולמי עלמיים יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתעדן ויתעלה ויתעלל שמי וקדושה בריחום. לעילם לנקול ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, במילה ועלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו
Amen. You may be seated. So tomorrow, starting at 8:15, we have Hader with Mora Dayan for pre-teenagers learning to become a Bnei Mitzvah. We also, starting at 9:30, we have our Shacharit service with Torah reading. The CSO, the Community Security Organization, is offering a 14-week training course for volunteer synagogues security personnel. There's no charge for the course, which begins in March 2025. As synagogues around the world rely on their members to assist with security, we appeal to congregants to contact CSO and take advantage of this offer in order to secure Beit David. Please see the latest Ad Kan for details. Tomorrow I'll be leading a table talk on Jewish literacy for those of you who received the Ad Kan. In the same email came an article which we will be talking about, including a few guiding questions It's not an exam, but if you want to have an idea of what we will be talking about, then read the guiding questions. In any case, the articles are really interesting. And as we join the world in grief over the deaths of the Bibas children and their mother, let us remember the children of all sides of conflicts around the world. The former Secretary General of the UN, Kofi Annan, reminded the world of this when he said, "There's no trust more sacred than the one the world holds with children. There's no duty more important than ensuring that their rights are respected, that their welfare is protected, that their lives are free from fear and want, and that they can grow up in peace." We conclude the service on page 627 with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi HaSharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Orchim Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shabbat Shalom.